Well, I'm not going to be doing a big long intro or talking with any sort of energy in this video whatsoever. I'm not going to try and act like I'm all excited about the ending of Jujutsu Kaisen. I am just simply, I don't have the energy for it. I'm not happy. I am absolutely, in fact, the only reason I'm really recording this is to try and vent and get my opinions out there, because if I just sit around today and just dwell on how I feel about this shit, then I am probably gonna be miserable all day, and I don't want that to be the case. So I want to get all of this out and then just post this. Sorry if it's extremely low quality and just raw thoughts and all that, but that's what I'm trying to get across here. This is gonna be my chapter review. Fuck the scans. I don't give a shit about the scans. I am sick and tired of having shit like this happen that just ruins the reputation of a story. Specifically, this is probably the worst ending of a manga I have ever seen in my entire fucking life. I need to talk about how much I love JJK before, because, listen, I absolutely adored this manga, right? I really did. I watched the first 2 seasons of the anime, right? I was anime only for the first half of this story. And so up to, obviously, the end of Shibuya. And what an experience. What a great story. What a fantastic power system. You know what I mean? Cursed energy. What a fantastic way to kind of expand your universe, right? You give us great characters that are so relatable, such as Yuji and Gojo. And you give them great kind of deuteragonists. You give them some, you know, really cool characters to bounce off of. Like Geto, like Megumi, like Nobara, like Nanami, for example. These characters are absolutely fantastic, pivotal to the story, and they were all interesting in their own unique ways. This story has some of the best villains that anime and manga has ever seen, and specifically some of the best that we've seen in recent times. Obviously, Sukuna, you have Mahito, you have Kenjaku, I mean, you have Jogo, even, you know, in terms of, like, villains that have participated in really good fights. It's a really great experience. The culling game, I thought, was better than Shibuya. Shibuya has some of the best fights ever. Culling game, in my opinion, surpassed that. And so when Season 3 comes out, I believe this will be the best season of JJK. I think the anime will go to the next level in the culling game. But as soon as we got out of the culling game, I feel like this series started to take a nosedive. Gojo versus Sukuna is a fucking incredible fight. Let's not get that twisted, okay? Gojo versus Sukuna is one of the best fights in anime and manga history, okay? We are not going to sugarcoat that. It's one of the best fights in the history of this medium. And then as soon as that fight ends, which, by the way, in my view, it ended in the perfect way. I think Gojo's death was perfect. I've stated that many, many times, and it pisses me off to see so many people on this fucking app, Twitter, being like, oh, Gojo come back. Oh, Gojo's here. Gojo's coming back. For every single chapter for a year straight. Being, you know, not trying to beat around the bush here. Get a fucking grip of yourselves. Gojo was never coming back. Gojo made sense to die. That was the entire point of his character. His goal, I've said this a million times, but I'll say it quickly again. His goal in life was to teach the next generation of sorcerers, so that the same thing that happened with him and Geto, specifically obviously with Geto, never happened again. So that a sorcerer doesn't feel trapped in their own mind and go off the deep end. And that he can train the new modern generation of Jujutsu sorcerers to be strong-willed, strong-minded, and to tackle it the right way, and to be a good-hearted Jujutsu sorcerer, and to contribute to the cause in a positive way. That's what he wanted from his life. And I also really like the ending of the fight in terms of Yuji killing Sukuna. That is perfect. That is exactly what Gojo would have wanted, and so I loved the wrap up to that fight. However, what a fucking slog to get there. Like, we had Sukuna versus Kusakabe, Miguel and LaRue showed up. Fucking, like, everybody fought Sukuna. it got so repetitive, and I was saying this during my chapter reviews the entire time. I was like, this is getting a lot. Like, we're really running out of ideas here. Like, even Kusakabe fucking said it himself. Gege's self-aware. He was like, wait now, nobody's left. So, what, I have to fight Sukuna? It's like, yes, you have to, because fucking Sukuna's just ran through 57 different people in a row in pretty much the same fight. Maki's fight is good but underwhelming against Sukuna. Yuta's, you could argue, same, because these characters have been built up so much and they're so great with such vast backstories, and you love these characters, you have a connection to these characters. They land 2 maybe attacks, they're really cool attacks, and you're like, oh shit, this is what we've been waiting for. And then Sukuna lands an attack and they die / are critically injured, and then the fight's over, and then somebody else subs in. The exact same thing happens. This is why the Sukuna cycle happened. Okay, so for me, the Shinjuku Showdown arc as a whole was really cool, had some amazing moments, but was an extreme disappointment. Specifically when Gege started going, do you know what, fuck it. Yuta in Gojo's body, go on. Go and fight Sukuna then. Lasts 2 chapters, Yuta does fuck all in Gojo's body, and then ends up being a vegetable on the floor until the end of the fight. What was the point? Please tell me what the point was. Genuinely. What the fucking hell was the point in having that fight take place? That's all I want to know. It really infuriates me. Like, that fight couldn't have necessarily been bad, right? As you'll see on Monday, I'm going to upload. I'm still going to do it. I'm still going to upload the ranking every single fight in Jujutsu Kaisen video, because I'm really proud of it. I love JJK, right? There's so many great fights and I wanted to rank all of them. It's a really ambitious effort from me, and I'm nearly done with the filming on that video, so it will be out on Monday. I will have it finished by then. So I'm going to do that, right? But that fight was ranked 55, or 54, sorry, the Yuta in Gojo's body one. Because Malevolent Shrine and Unlimited Void, cool, right? Cool. But nothing fucking happened, so I can't put it that high, even though it has two of the coolest abilities in the history of the fucking series, right? Complete and utter fumble from Gege. The fight, like I said, ends pretty well. I like, personally, the whole Yuji ending the cycle of curses by killing Sukuna type of thing. Great. However, holy shit, 269, 270 and 271 have been some of the biggest amounts of bullshit I have ever witnessed in my whole life. It is fucking horrendous. I am sick fed up of reading this series in the last 3 weeks, because what the fuck is this? Let's just read the chapter 271 chapter summary, as you've been able to see on the screen for, well, the 8 minutes that I've been filming now. Sorry for the ramble, but as you can tell, I'm pissed off. It's a 3-parter. Jujutsu spoilers, which, good account, said the chapter summary is: Itadori and the guys take the couple away from the technique's range to burn the curse user. They find him, after which there is not even a final fight. You don't even see a fucking fight, man. They find the curse user that, you know, it was like, oh, the final mission, and then there's not even a fight. Since it's just random and he surrenders himself, after which Yuji has a therapy session with the guy and remembers Gojo's words about he has big bets on Yuji. Everyone smiles at the end, walking off into the sunset in their groups. In the end, we see Sukuna's finger in the very first booth that we've seen it in when Megumi went to go and track it at Yuji's school in the very first chapter. That is complete and utter dog shit. What about... Right, oh, there's my mate getting the DMs in. Yeah, it was atrocious. I am fucking stunned by this. Let's go through some things. Jujutsu Society as a whole. We learn that Gakuganji is the leader of it now, right? But it's a one-man crew. Why do we not get any exposition on how the world's going to work from here on out? Is that not something that, you know, we want to see? In terms of the imagery from Gojo's death, in the terms of going south and like heading north, and the west shit and all, like the train station with the Yuji. In fact, fucking hell, let's take it a step further. Yuji's domain expansion, we didn't get a name for it. We didn't see the ability, what it actually done whatsoever. He just went domain expansion, and then it didn't even fucking happen. Nothing happened. Like, this is the most pointless ending ever. We get no explanation of anything that happened at all. They don't get to go and see Gojo's grave, so we don't see that wrap up. Like, Gojo died, right? And actually, probably one of my favourite page, or my favourite kind of moment from this chapter. Where is it? Let me find it. Here. Where Gojo and Yuji are talking, and Gojo's like, I have love and dreams too, and one day everyone will grow up and leave me behind. I don't want to be forgotten, all that sort of thing. I have high hopes for you. This is a great page, and it shows how sad a character Gojo is, right? He's an extremely in-depth, well-written character who is the strongest but has suffered his entire life because of that strength. And I think the way that Yuji interacts with him here is great. This is a really cool page, but the rest of it is complete and utter dog shit. There is so much to wrap up. What the fuck was the point in Takaba having Kenjaku with his face kind of like blurred out? What was the point in 269 as a chapter as a whole, with like Kusakabe talking about the new Shadow style school and all that, and Mei going to the old granny? There was so much fluff in the last few chapters that I don't get the fucking point. I don't understand why Gege has done this. This to me seems like one of the worst endings in manga history, and I mean that truly. This series could have done with so much more depth. It looks like Gege was just like, I'm kind of done with this, so I'm going to rush. And you can tell that he's rushed because he has not filled in details for so many different plot points that we absolutely needed to have this story feel complete. It doesn't feel complete. It feels like it needs a part 2 to be complete. And he's just ending it here with a fucking sunset moment. Like, nah, not for me. I'm sorry. I am going to leave it there because I feel like I'm just going on and rambling at this point. But you know, I absolutely despise this ending, and I think Gege has completely fumbled what was going to be a fantastic series, and it is now just an average shonen with a shitty ass ending. It's as simple as that. He's fumbled his power system, he's fumbled his characters, he's written this shit in the worst way he possibly could have, and I am so disappointed. In fact, I've just jumped back on to make one more point. The fucking merger! What happened to the merger? Nothing happened. We didn't get closure on the Tengen situation at all. We don't know what happened with Tengen. We don't know what that meant for the future of the world, which is obviously very important, but he didn't even add in that detail. We didn't get any closure on the Cullen game in terms of what would have happened at the end of it, because Uro's still alive. Like, we know that the Cullen game isn't over because they had to kill every character in the Cullen game to end it and to essentially start the merger. That was the goal, and then nothing about that got explained. Again, terrible from Gege, and he just rushed the fucking ending of this story. I can't believe it. I'm not going to cut back in again. That was it, actually. Thanks for watching. Bye.